Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. We are live now on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. You can go there, drop your comments. We'll be reading your comments live here in the studio. Okay, before we talk about today's game, let's talk about some of the games that happened yesterday. But first, let's talk about Nigerian Super Eagles. They play Rwanda in Cagliari today. That game is going to be an interesting game because Nigeria needs to get all 3 points in that encounter. Anything short of 3 points, it's going to be tough for us to qualify. But if you look at that game, you have seen the clips of their preparation, the camp everywhere. Everybody is happy in the camp. Everybody is eager to play that game. But we are yet to know the kind of formation our new coach is going to play. We are yet to know the kind of players, kind of style is going to feel. But generally, what do you expect to happen in today's game?
Yeah, in today's game, the most important thing is that you do not lose the mental battle, because life is a battlefield of the mind. And secondly, when you have your mental battle, your mental fortitude, your mental attitude right, the next thing is to have a single mother work ethic on the pitch, which means, you work 4 jobs on the pitch. You do your job, you do your compatriot's job, you see any loopholes, you plug the loopholes, and then you look out for the X job or X factor in the side that you can deliver. Today we need to see players who over-index their average for the national team. We need to also see players who 2x their production rate for the team, because at the end of the day, we are fighting, I wouldn't want to say we are fighting a losing battle, because that's what it is if we just go into this game with the mentality of we are Super Eagles, who you be. We can't come with that type of mentality. We have to come with the zeal and the passion to get it done, right? Everybody has been talking in the media. I like the fact that we've not been so public on the media talking about this match, talking about our chances of qualifying. I like the fact that we've not been so open about it, because at a certain point in time in your career as an athlete, you have to just go and do the talking on the pitch. And I'm sure I echo the thoughts of every Nigerian out there, even those who are dispassionate about the Super Eagles, who feel no sense of pride in the Super Eagles, or who have a growing sense of apathy towards the Super Eagles. I think everybody is just willing it at this point in time for us to go there, get all 3 points, and progress to the next round.
So this game is going to be interesting. What are you expecting us to do today?
Firstly, they went to Rwanda and they are made to share rooms. It has not, I don't think it's happened many times before. Now, when we see they find money, we still say NFF no get money to give. You get Spigos team, and they share room. Now, you put an line and you will be in a room and you expect it to be all fine. Well, there are guys, they have to, at some point, they have to manage themselves. But making these players share room after traveling halfway across the world to come and play, it's going to be, I don't know how it sounds now, but I just feel
there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. If not, I think, yes, if not, I think it increases team bonding, because
now under 17 we do and last.
It increases team bonding. These guys need to communicate better. I support this movement, and in fact, I'm giving kudos to whoever came up with that good idea. And by the way, do you know that Rwanda charges in dollars? They don't deal in their local currency.
These are Super Eagles.
In dollars. I don't care.
Maybe under 17.
I don't care.
Maybe under 21.
You are living in a country where we are cutting costs every day. And they are cutting costs, man. Communicate, share the room. And I'm sure it's a suite, so you might as well enjoy the fact you're sharing a suite with your fellow teammates. If we can't communicate better, one-on-one, sharing that space together, I'm looking to see that translate on the pitch.
Okay, now, so in the game, this particular game, the football pitch, what do you think?
I don't want to make a land.
Land, man.
As if I talk around that, you go catch me for up there again. You will give me smack down. Calm down.
It's fine.
Double X, what you call them?
Down X.
Firstly, you can team bond in training. You can team bond in the cafe. You get for lunch, everything. There's team bonding during those periods. Not when I'm about to take my nap, and the other person is by my side doing something else. But there are other ways you can bond. But also, like in this game now, going into this game, we always see the coach trying to, or perhaps the instructions to the midfielders trying to play it safe. You have your Ndidi who can play it safe. You have Yusuf who can play it safe. Your Dele Bashiru is coming in to play an attacking football. Your Rafael Oyedika is coming in to balance the game. He's like your Declan Rice. Dele Bashiru is like your Declan Rice. While Alex Iwobi is your creative force up front. Let these players play the way they play for their club side, or even more. because you want to qualify. We're just saying it. Yeah, I've said it before. If you not qualify, I don't mind. We've seen countries who did not qualify for 2 editions of the World Cup and went to the World Cup to play the knockout stages. Not able to just go there, go mark present. Every day they go mark. If you qualify World Cup now, one go win now. To go mark present, attendance, who come World Cup, Nigeria come, group stage, will go back house. At least at some point Morocco did not go, and the last time they went, they at knockout stage, yes, we did. You get, so if we say let's build a team that will challenge for the World Cup knockout stages and about challenge for a team or build a team that will challenge for the semi-finals, I'll be happy about that than qualifying for the World Cup every year and not getting an end product out of it. So I just feel like going into this game now, if you lose, anything that happens in this game is fine. I'm not for all Nigeria qualify, Nigeria will win and get the 3 points. I'm not for Nigeria will. I'm for just play good football, build a team that could challenge for the next World Cup and even perhaps dream to win it.
And that's why I keep hamping on the decision of the NFF to bring us mediocre managers, to bring us managers who have not done it, who have not caught it when we talk about winning things in international football, because there is a ceiling to your earning power, there is a ceiling to your winning power, there is a ceiling to exploiting the max potential out of our team. And we have this team, the Super, they are going to be in the twilight of their careers. So at this point, right, we should give them the best coaching staff available, the best support, and to ensure that we are able to maximize the benefits from these players.
Truth be told, in the next 2-3 years, maybe after the next Afcon, you might not be seeing a Wilfred in the midfield. Definitely, he needs a replacement. Gradually, they are beginning to X out this person's name from the team sheet. What's it called? Inernational, senior man. In the next 2-3 years, you won't see him on the team sheet anymore. Ahmed Musa, he has already handed over the captain band to Truss Ekong. In the next 4-5 years, you won't see him there anymore. So it's about a progression, and we know that there are players that will come in and replace these players. We know that there are players that will come in and replace them. But for now, if you're going to build a team, let those players come in now and understudy these players and perhaps build. I'm just saying, if we not qualify for this year World Cup,
not see what happens in today's game with Nigeria is playing today in Rwanda. That game is happening by 5 p.m. So let's hope that they get all 3 points, because we need all 3 points. Anything less than a win, we are in big soup, in big bitter leaf soup. If anything, that even if we get a draw, we are almost out of that World Cup. We have one of the best international exports when it comes to Africa. If you look at our score from beginning to end, we have internationals playing everywhere around Africa. But somehow we don't qualify for the World Cup. Somehow we don't really win something for the Super Eagles. The last time we won the Afcon was Stephen Keshi winning
2013.
2013. It's been a very, very long time. Even though that we reached the last two editions, we reached the finals, but we couldn't win it. But let's see what Nigeria is going to do for us against Rwanda today. Tomorrow morning we'll come back here in the morning to discuss how that game went. It's going to be interesting, and this evening we are going to be dropping fan reactions to what Nigeria think about that game. We're going to join on our YouTube channel by 7 p.m. We're going to be dropping fan reactions, so you can go there, you see what your fellow Nigerians think about that game that happened, that's going to happen today. Okay, let's talk about the other games happening in Africa today. In World Cup qualification, in Botswana will play Algeria, Guinea will play Somali, Rwanda will play Nigeria, South Africa will play Lesotho. Burkina away from home. What do you think will happen in that game? Who wins in that game?
I think it's a straight win for Morocco. It remains to be seen if Niger can muster up any attempt at stopping Morocco from winning this game. It's yet to be seen, but I'm going to give it to Morocco. We may not know maybe the depth of the squad available to them today, but I'm sure that whatever squad they feel, they should be able to get something against Niger.
Okay, and also who wins in that game?
Morocco has been a good side over the years. They've done well. They've earned my praises. You understand? If you do well, you're supposed to say, I go come, I go hype you. If you don't do well, I go wait for you to get the numbers up. I just feel like from the last World Cup till this very moment, they've earned my praises, and they're going into this game with the assurance that they're getting the 3 points.
Okay, let's talk
assurance.
Let's talk about our neighbors, Ghana. Ghana has not. I don't think that Ghana has been doing well in recent days, but they're playing at home to Chad. Who wins in this game?
Ghana now. When my boy did there, I can't support another player that is not my player. I have Mohamed Kudus, the creator. the creator in
Hey man,
position
I
was home
disagree.
based.
I
So the two
disagree.
times
So
they
they
failed
need
to
to
qualify.
infuse more foreign talent
It's
into
not
the
about
side.
having foreign talent. If foreign talent is playing in Cyprus or so they have to
Third
play,
division Spain.
so they have to bring it.
Whose fault them, man?
They have
Whose
to
fault?
if
It's not as
somebody
if
is
there
playing
is
for
a
Al,
cons.
if
It's
somebody
not.
is playing for Al Ahly and somebody is playing for second division in Spain, you have to invite somebody
It's
else.
not about that. If you have exports, you have to do the scouting job. I know Nonso will be the one that will be here crying till infinity about scouting. They have to sit down and do the scouting job, just as I'm living with the NFF setup that Atubolo has not been drafted into the Super Eagles. Go look at the Bundesliga, go look at his numbers, go look at his games, and tell me if he cannot replace everybody we have in between the posts for Nigeria. And then why is he not in the setup? Why is he not in the setup? Maybe because he does not fit somebody's political schemes, or maybe because
John,
they
leave
are
politics.
protecting.
Or
He
Wabali
No,
hates
is
you.
doing
no,
well.
no.
Or
He
Wabali
hates
Or
is
we
you.
doing well
have
for Nigerians.
somebody else. Why do we have 3 redundant goalkeepers except from Wabali on that team sheet, and that one is not in the team sheet?
Go look at
We
head
have
shape.
to
It
go
no fits
look
the
at these
profile.
things, because at the end of the day, these are the yardstick, these are the invisible numbers that tell why we are where we are. Simple.
John, you don't just go and pick based on one season.
It's not about one season, man. If you do the scouting report, you get the data. The data is out there.
Last season, what was his
Go
numbers?
look at Opta. You can just go to opta.com and Google his numbers. Google his numbers for this season and for last season. And you're talking about his numbers last season. And you have goalkeepers in that setup who were only good 2 or 3 years ago, and they're still there based off reputation and the fact that they've been in the national setup before now. So before you give me that boulder that you want to call it,
Well,
go check up the numbers.
Wabali has been doing well for us. There's no need for us to change.
I'm not talking about change. I'm talking about remove the redundancies in that goalkeeping position. The other 2 goalkeepers, where are they playing? What have they done?
Okay, let's move away from those games. Defending champions of Afcon, Ivory Coast is going away to Burundi. They should be winning that game, Ivory Coast.
Yeah, they should be winning. But this is African football, and there are no small teams in this continent. And on any given night, you can be once over in a 1-second flash of brilliance. And that's the reality in African football. So, of course, we give them their due credence. We give them, their flowers because they are who they are. But, bro, every single game you play, you have to put up and you have to earn the respect back. You have to come up and you have to put the fear back into the heart of the opponents. And if they are not doing that, bro, somebody can come in and once them over and it will be it. Simple.
Even these players that we know, when they do well for Premier League, they did bench for the Cote d'Ivoire side. Because we are seeing players start for the Cote d'Ivoire, and you're like, okay, what is this guy doing on the bench? Coming in as a sub to change the game. They have a team. They have a team set up that could go on and win any game. So Burundi don't stand a chance.
Okay, let's see what happens in
until the game ends 90 minutes and you see a 1-goal win.
There's always this. No matter how I say the fear factor and all those things,
It's
there's
not
always
about
what
it's
different
crazy,
people.
man.
There's always what different people look at when you look at games. You get. We talked about it yesterday. There are teams you look at and be like, okay, fine. There are springs of surprises in this team. You get. But you look at some teams and be like, no. It's the job of the scout to see what the surprises in that team is. And when I stayed for yesterday's game, you could go back and see yesterday's game. Some of those teams came up with a surprise. And in this game, there is no spring of surprise. So I will stick with Cote d'Ivoire all day.
Okay, see, with Cote d'Ivoire. Talking about yesterday's game, it happened yesterday in Afcon. Let's see the results for yesterday's game. Afcon, Mozambique beating Uganda 3-1. Namibia going away to win Malawi 1-0. Cape Verde winning Mauritius 1-0. Libya and Angola 1-1. Sierra Leone winning Guinea-Bissau 3-1. Zimbabwe and Benin 2-2, and Gambia and Kenya played at a 3-3 draw. So that's the result for yesterday in Afcon. Okay, let's go back to Europe because the National League matches happened yesterday. That game is home and away. They played the first leg. Yes, the quarterfinal is home and away. The second leg is going to be on Sunday. But for yesterday's results, Germany beating away, going to Italy to win that game 2-1.
As predicted.
I think it was a good result for them in that game. Portugal losing at home. Losing away, going away to Denmark to lose 1-0. And Højlund scored that goal and did a sue.
You need to pay me. It will be 2-0.
It will be 2-0.
Ericsson missed penalty.
So he did the celebration, Cristiano celebration in that game. They won that game 1-0 Denmark, and Croatia beating France 2-0. That was a surprising result yesterday. It was an interesting game. Croatia beating them 2-0, and the old man. Are you back with Cristiano?
Yes, thank
the old
you.
guy.
Call it as it is.
Wait, see, Shay,
Call it as
when we
it
say the
is.
string of surprises, we said
QED.
if these people play for self and not for a team, they will lose games. Now, what we talking yesterday?
Finally, Netherlands and Spain played a 2-2 draw. Okay, let's start with that big one, Croatia and France. They started with, we are talking about the way they were going to set up, but they set up a 4-4-2 formation, play Kolo, Muani and Mbappe up front, then Dembele playing as that number 10, that Griezmann position. Griezmann has retired from international football, so they play like a 4-3-3 that is 4-4-2 at the same time. And Dembele was now drifting everywhere, left, right, center, and Mbappe, but they couldn't score a goal. But that game ended 2 goals to Croatia. Pulisic having a goal and assist in that game.
Let's not forget that they had a penalty that was cancelled or that was missed or whatever, but that's one. It could have been 3, it could have even been 4 if you go back and we look at a couple of other chances that were miscued in that game, and for all the hype, for all the talk about the French national team, about the firepower of the Kylian Mbappe, about all these other guys, I like all the rap sheets we like bringing when we come to talk about the France national team. But how market, the same guys, the same elderly men, 30 something, 35, 30 this, 30 this. There's a saying now, people say that old woman never forgets the dance step of her favorite song. And right yesterday, we could see that yes, aged as they are, without the young bloods they needed, they had enough blood to deal with the French national team.
It's interesting. Modric was bossing the midfield, and France, I think what they are still lacking is that creative midfield. Since Pogba left that team, he has been shaking, even though they reached the World Cup final after without Pogba. But you could see that they need that spark. Imagine when they had a Conte, Pogba, Griezmann in the same team. They had enough power in that midfield. But now is Tomiyasu and Gunduzi, which are defensive midfielders, and Rabiot, which is the defensive midfielder. So they were playing 3 defensive midfield, and I'm hoping that the front 3 will just score a goal somehow.
Do magic, which is magic. When you see poor brain work, you will know that, bro, this is poor brain work. When you see quality thinking, this is quality thinking. In that game yesterday, in the setup yesterday, you see this is poor brain work. The champ should just go and throw in the towel tonight, man. He should just go and throw in the towel tonight. How do you play? No, forget about the World Cup, because that one is not even promised. It's not promised. I would rather. It's not about nobody is sacking him. Nobody will sack him until they lose the World Cup, and then we'll come here and we'll have the conversation all over again. So for me, I want to tackle what I see as poor brain work. Now, how do you pair a Guendouzi, a Tchouaméni, and a Rabiot in that midfield?
That's what's available.
How? Forget about what's available. You have Bakola in that team. You have other talented men in that team that you could have utilized. Now, secondly, if we go on form, Randa Kolo Muani has no right to start in that game ahead of Ousmane Dembele. Why move Ousmane out of his position in the first place? Why move him out of his position? Put him in his position, move Kwani on the bench, come from the bench, and put somebody else in that 10 position. Simple, that's all I'm saying.
What do you make of that setup? I think the midfield was the problem.
The front line there today, we said it here on the show yesterday, if they don't play for self, Kolo Muani as a striker, you saw his numbers for Juventus since he joined. You get, so I don't know why you are faulting him here.
Keep him on the bench.
Kylian's number for what's it called now, Real Madrid, has been good this season. In 2025, his numbers has been up there. The highest goal scoring player in 2025, Ousmane Dembele. This is the front 3 you have. You get, since January till now, you have a Kolo Muani who's been scoring goals, at least competing for the player of the month every month in Serie A. You have a player from Spain competing for player of the month, and Ousmane Dembele scoring goals for fun. These players have been scoring goals for fun. I don't have a problem with the front 3. They can start like this. Mbappe can come to the left and play. Ousmane can go to the right. While this guy stays in the middle. Front 3 is as fluid as you can get. But in midfield, you have 3 defensive midfielders who can create. Let's say Guendouzi has a sparkle of creativity in him. just a sprinkle of creativity in him. Rabiot, same thing. Those sprinkles did not add up, because if you look at them yesterday, they were playing too safe. And we said this yesterday. I said it here on the show yesterday. If you play safe, or you play to self, to improve yourself, or you play to show yourself, the team will not get results. No matter how I on this show I criticize the Croatian side for not having youth in their system, but if you look at the team, they were playing like a unit. They were not playing for self. If you see this guy, they distribute passes yesterday and they make runs. Perisic from the flanks, he was distributing passes and making runs at 34. What's this man's name? Great grandfather, Modric, was distributing passes from midfield and was making runs for the other team. So you just feel like these players are playing for self. They can't handle the pressure from it.
Remember on this show, we had a conversation. We said that when you move a player out of position, you drop the person's effectiveness in the team. Kamavinga and Tchouaméni in that midfield makes the other two people irrelevant. Why start them in the first place? Kamavinga was on the bench, Tchouaméni started. Remove Guendouzi and Rabiot, start Kamavinga and Tchouaméni, and then bring in this guy. Excuse me, I'm not done. Excuse me, forget about Guendouzi in Serie A. Forget about Guendouzi in Lazio. No, because if you give a player, I disagree. If you give a player a chance to turn up and he squanders the opportunity, you let him ponder his ill decision from the bench for all eternity. That's my style. And then you have a Mikel Olise sitting on the bench. You need fire in the midfield. Baba is sitting on the bench. What's he sitting on the bench for? Why are you playing three defensive midfielders when you can play to put another attacking midfielder in that setup? Look at Ousmane Dembele leaving the forward line to come back, pick ball, and move forward. Why? That's all I'm saying.
My own is that you can hear and criticize everything you want to criticize. The coach knows the plan he wants to play, and he executes his plan.
When you get senior men for team, you call it play academy graduates.
Most times, if you win games, everybody will think your tactics is right. But he's losing games that he lost this game, and everybody think he might go to the next leg and actually use this information and win that game. But let's see what happens.
It could be luck. It could be any other thing.
France losing against Croatia, they're going to play the second leg to see who qualifies for the semi-final of the Uefa National League. Okay, the other games that happened is Denmark winning Portugal in that game. Yesterday we were talking about Portuguese midfielders, young boys playing for PSG, and both of them started a game today, talking about Neves and Vitinha. Both of them played yesterday, but somehow they did not win that game, and Cristiano Ronaldo he didn't get a whole lot of chances in that game. People were complaining on social media that is it time for him to retire? He should find young blood and start playing. But if you look at the chance created in that game, they created a few chances for him to score.
Where is the young blood, please? When Portuguese national team has a 30-goal a season striker in the setup that is finishing on the right, finishing on the left, and finishing with his head, when you have that player in the mode, then we can come back and discuss this situation. We can come back and discuss the question of, has Cristiano Ronaldo been rendered useless in the Portuguese national team? Until that question is still a no, please, Baba, play him up front. You can't question Ronaldo's relevance to that team when you look at the numbers and see that, Baba, this guy did not get up to 3 passes in his direction. 3 forward-thinking passes in his direction at all on the night. How do we question that when we have people in that midfield who have just one job? I keep saying it when we talk about Manchester United. I keep saying it when we talk about their defense, Onana and his centre backs, and we talk about the midfielders, the wingers, and Højlund and Zeski up front. If you don't give the marksman his ball, if you don't give him supply, you should not on any way expect magic, because if he leaves his position to come back, who is going to finish the ball?
Talking about Maxman, Højlund scoring the only goal in that game, he was introducing. I was surprised that he did not even start, but he was introduced in that second half, and he scored that goal and did the Cristiano celebration. And everybody was saying that he was disrespectful. But after the game, he said that because Ronaldo is his idol, he has been watching Ronaldo since he's a kid. He wants to be like Ronaldo and all that. But good game for Denmark, winning that game 1-0. And if you look at their statistics, they had 23 shots, 8 on target. Portugal had only 2 shots on target a whole game. Which is very, very poor for a team.
When you play compact, you force the other teams to commit blunders. That's one thing, because they are going to force something. And when you force a pass 2-3 times and you force that pass into the opposition's hand, you lose the ball, you're forced to run back and try to defend. And if I'm playing compact and hitting on the break, bro, you don't stand a chance against me. I can't come here and say the Denmark, the Danish side has faster players than the Portuguese national team. No, they don't. But if you look at the Portuguese national team side, they were up the pitch. They were playing the high line. They were with the ball. They had more of the passes. They had everything going for them. But the Denmark side was very, very compact. Now that compactness is not allowed the Portuguese side breakthrough. We were expecting passes in between the line, but players were willing to complete a take on. You're completely taken against one defender when you know that like 3 other people standing beside him. So if you beat one, 2 go collect ball from you. If you look at that game very well, you can see that the compactness they were not sitting deep. And the Portuguese side did not dig deep to get the result. So it's just like we played compact, we didn't pack the box, we just come up and closed out the gap that they could run into and get the chances they needed. And losing that penalty was one of those telling moments in that game that wow.
Yeah, Costa saving that penalty for Portugal. We talked about their coach yesterday, Martinez, if he's the right man to take this Portuguese forward. I don't want to enter that debate again today, but this is a good, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, this is a golden generation again. If you look at the squad they have the Neto.
The golden generation has gone.
They keep producing golden generations.
The golden generation has gone.
Generation they expire for Portugal.
The golden generation has gone.
Because when you see the golden generation has left, they've all retired. You come back to the team and you're seeing fresh faces, new style of play.
Please,
on
this starting sheet yesterday, in the wing position, name me one player that can bench Ricardo Quaresma. Just one. Rafael, you dey whine yourself. Even you sef dey smile dey talk am. Even you sef for your mind.
Now I don't go because before you go select player, you go select based on form. And Pedro Neto from last, I don't talk about this season because this season is just terrible.
No, let's talk this season because we can't rely on last year's numbers.
Pedro Neto.
We have to talk about this season.
Wolverhampton Wanderers was another kind of beast.
Where is the beast now?
And at Chelsea they play for now. The beast don't die.
So let's not keep calling God.
In the 5 minutes end of the goal and scored the equalizer. In the 5 minutes end of the goal and scored the equalizer. They scored first through Williams, but Netherlands scored 2, making it 2 goals to 1. Then Mirano was introduced in the 85th minute and he scored as a supporting striker and he scored that goal to make it 2-2 to go back to Spain to play the second leg. But that good game, all-round game, even though that Netherlands got the red card, that's why probably more pressure was on them and they
leave the pressure that was on them. That guy deserved to be even sent off in the first half. He lost the ball that got to them. I think it was under pressure. I don't know how you put yourself under pressure. You take the ball, 2 touches, you pass back to Van Dijk if you're not seeing the forward pass, and you're trying to guide the ball, and they steal the ball off you and get the goal off it. Now, I think that was a Yamal steal. It was a good steal, good tackles, good steal from Yamal. Getting the pass across to Morata, getting the pass across to Nico Williams, and getting that goal beautifully slotted in. Good goal for them. But after that error, the guy woke up, and his tackles were reckless. But that challenge was not a red card challenge. I would say for a fact, it wasn't a red card challenge.
You said he woke up, but then he was making reckless.
No. Like that tackle was reckless. But if you see him in that game, he was almost everywhere. You get Willie Jenner. I think after that goal, 3 people woke up in that team. The Memphis Depay, the Jeremiah Frimpong, and this Hato, they woke up properly and they went all in. Because you could see, before that goal, you could see Frimpong trying to complete take-ons and lose the ball and not run back to defend. Okay. But after that goal from Spain, he was everywhere and he created the chances that led to the 2 goals and Netherlands scored. Frimpong was just, for me, the man of the match, the man of the night, or the man of the moment.
You can't stop without giving Kluivert his flowers because he created that first goal for them.
Kluivert with the drive, I think it was a 1-2 because Kluivert started the creation in that process. And like I said Kluivert and Frimpong. And he has in that game he was the best thing I was looking out for. Now Justin Kluivert on the other hand was creating those chances. Memphis was at least dropping into midfield. I don't know why they keep playing him in the striking position these days.
And he drops in and Gakpo inverts.
That only even inverts. That be the problem. Because I was thinking, okay, fine, Memphis in front, he will drop into midfield, help create from the flanks or help create from midfield. What's it called? Slow motion go invert. Slow motion no invert. And maybe he got the goal. He got the goal in the equalizing goal in the first half. But I was expecting him to do more. Because I just feel like Frimpong for me, man of the match, Kluivert, assistant, then Hato. I don't know why that tackle could have been a yellow card tackle, but it wasn't clear-cut straight red.
Okay, John. Italy losing at home to Germany, 1 goal, 2 goals to 1. Tonali scoring the first goal, but they came back. Germany came back in the second half to score 2 goals to win that game, 2 goals to 1. Good result for Germany,
Good
bad result
result,
for Italy.
good result for Germany on the night. I keep coming back to this conversation because you have two teams that are big when we talk about name in football, when we talk about their records in the past. But then in the current generation, side by side, you cannot underestimate the fleet-footedness of the German side. You can't underestimate the quality in that team in the midfield. You can also underestimate the players they produced. And on the night, it wasn't the big names everybody is looking out for. I was looking out for a Florian Wirtz. I was also looking out for a Jamal Musiala. It wasn't either of these two, but then when you have a good system, when you have a good structure, you create the opportunity for other people to score, and that's what we saw on the night. I felt also looking at the Italian national team and the players they set up. You have a Moiskin who's had a terrible season so far. If you look at his numbers, this season, last season, and the season before, he's just finding his new form in his current club right now. And then you talk about Raspadori. Let's not go into Raspadori, but at a certain point in time, they should have started with the strikers they subbed them for. They should have started with them.
Okay, the second leg of this encounter will happen on Sunday. Let's see who is on 23rd of March. Then we see who is going to qualify for the semi-final of this National League. It's a trophy now. They made it a trophy. There are other games that happen because it has the A and group.
No, the relegation battle.
Yes, relegation battle.
Relegation playoff was what happened next.
So they grouped it in some way. If you now win from B, you move over to A and play. We are not going to talk about that on this show today, but the UEFA World Cup qualification is happening today, and England is playing their first game today. They play Albania in this game. This is first game for Tuchel. If you look at that game, Tuchel is going to take his first charge in this team. He was talking about, I won't say he was criticizing.
Of course he was. No, let's not. You see, one thing.
He was asked a question.
Don't whitewash it. Say it as it is.
He was asked a question
no
about
Southgate. Say it as it is.
Southgate. Part of the thing he was talking about that England was relying on luck. They don't have like a team play.
The second team, no togetherness. Those were his words.
Those were his words. That's what he said when he was asked. But we are going to be seeing what he's going to do today. But today, England playing today against Albania, they should be winning this game today. They are playing at home.
I don't see the need why you have to make that statement on the eve of you playing a game. No matter who you are, no matter how many years you have on your contract.
Look, he's reached 2 semi-finals.
Forget about let's not because this guy wants to just tick me off now, because no matter who you are, no matter how long your contract, no matter what they've told you in private, bro, if you lose the players and you consequently lose the fans, you'll be out of your job hotter than you can pick akara out of the frying pan right now. And you don't need this. You don't need this heat, because you still have players who would not be in that setup without that man. You have players in that setup who hold that man in high regard. You don't need somebody mixing the wavelength of your messages to the players. Everybody should just come to that match in good faith, play a good game, and go home. We don't need this extra heat.
And also, three at the back, 4 at the back. Which one do you prefer?
The first thing with the statement, he wrong. First of all, if me ask that question, I'll say we've been hard done by luck. You get? We've not been lucky so far. That's the main answer to the question that was asked. We've not been lucky. We got to the semi-finals. We were just unlucky to get the result. Simple answer. Southgate did a good job scouting some of the players you're about to use right now to see their talent. Because now England will know. Team where they represent England are Man City, Liverpool, and Man United. There may be other teams, someone players to complete it. So when you have like 5 players from Man U, 4 from Liverpool, 4 from Chelsea, team sheet is not complete. Then 2 from Man City, team sheet not complete. Who again won't come? But this man went all the way to Leeds United to scout a Calvin Phillips who was on form. Went all the way to have his number 1 goalkeeper from Everton. Went all the way to have another goalkeeper from Newcastle.
Look at
from Brentford.
The quality
then
of
the
players
quality
is first.
and the
People
youth.
Newcastle get players for England. When last did that happen?
Now if I'm saying Tuchel is coming in and is bringing in a Livramento into the side, fine, you have just one addition to the side. Good for you, but the atmosphere has to be right and to be in your favor before you can come and make statements like that in the press. I also like you're going into your first game against Albania. That was the same thing. I think the Castle almost wanted to write off what's it called, and he went to Greece and lost against Greece 3, I think 1-0 or 2-0 in that game. Now, going into this game now, if the atmosphere is not right and the last words you say before your first kickoff is wrong, players will go into that game and lose or perhaps play draw against Albania.
Well, let's see what happens in England. He takes over the English Three Lions today for this first game in charge of that team. Let's see if he's going to play 3 at the back, 4 at the back, because when you won the Champions League and reach the Champions League finals with both with PSG and Chelsea, he played 3 at the back. But let's see
with this English one, he's playing 3 at the back.
Yeah, let's see if he's going to play 3 or 4 at the back. But he said that it's going to bring excitement. That's the word he used.
I like all these managers that before you show anything international fee, you just come and start talking. That's how we had one that say end of an era, end of an era. We all know we're in there right now. In the drink Gary
the era don't end.
Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with England and Albania. They play game today in Uefa World Cup qualification. Okay, I'm going to open the phone line for you to tell us the prediction for Nigerian game, Rwanda versus Nigeria. Call us and tell us the score line. Who you think will win. Everyone will say that Nigeria will win. But now give me the score line. Who you think will win that game? The number to call is 0706 048 5853, or you can call 0915 570 8347. Call us and tell us who do you think will win that game between Rwanda and Nigeria. On our YouTube channel, remember guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. Onuchukwu Ibuka is saying, I see Nigeria winning today. Okay, also drop your scoreline for us on the comment section. Let's know the scoreline, who is going to win today. And T-Man is saying, respectfully, since when do you talk about international football? Because we are on international break. Clubs are not playing football in the next 2 weeks, so we are going to talk about national team till I think this week and next week, and then we come back to club football again. Everybody loves football. People are not too interested in international football.
Trust me, if it's not the World Cup or the Euros, forget it.
Nobody is basically
if it's not the World Cup or the Euros, forget it. If it's not CAF, Afcon,
anyway, sir.
Leave am.
Fine for you.
They watch Afcon, they follow our players, because the same players, we want to see how they play in the big leagues. I want to see how they play domestically. And in the last 2 editions of CAF, Mo Salah has not been present.
Okay, let's see. Okay, you can call us and tell us your prediction for Nigeria versus Rwanda. Tomorrow we'll come back here and discuss that game very well and see how the Nigerian did, what they did in that game today. Okay, let's move over to South America. The game happened in South America yesterday, and results in Paraguay beating Chile 1-0. Brazil beating Colombia 2-1.
As predicted.
Peru beating Bolivia 3-1. That game against Brazil and Colombia was interesting because all the big boys scored. Vinicius scored, Rafinha had a goal and assist in that game, and Diaz scored for Colombia. Good game all around. 2 goals. Everyone represent themselves.
Put some respect on that Brazil name.
Now God will go to tell that one.
No.
God will talk. Now God will go to tell that one. Not be me. I tell you, say my boys they midfield. My players they there. Bruno Gimenez they. Paqueta they. Jolinto they. So I get solid men.
Then
from.
they can't meet 20 points. They call Jolinto.
Wait till you want make I talk. You know they for the team. Wait, come now. You know better say you play Jolinto as first 9 than to play Richarlison.
As first waiting.
Even if you play, because if former coach play him as number 9. It better say I get Jolinto for front of goal. At least no score goal, just the blue defenders. Than to get Richarlison for front there.
Richarlison has a better score record than.
Leave that thing. Now you think so?
Go check the record.
If Jolinto play as number 9, he get more conversion rate, more accuracy rate than.
That's the same thing he said about Nkunku.
Leave. Nkunku is a striker. Jolinto is not a striker. But Jolinto that is not a striker has more rates, has more numbers than a winger that can play as a striker.
It's fine.
So for me, I just feel like I said about the Brazilian team, and I know what they can do. But it's just like the hype that we used to live the Celestial beings that used to play in that team are no longer there. Then the Celestial beings that used to play in that team are no longer there. So we can't see that flair anymore. But in this game, we saw a lot of flair.
I think football has moved beyond that flair.
In this game, forget the stats, passes and numbers and all of those things. In this game, you saw that flair. You saw those Vinicius dance around. You saw Vinicius dance around a little. You saw Diaz dance around a little. You will see him dancing around in the Premier League teams with Liverpool. We saw him dance around yesterday night. Sorry, this morning. I saw him dance around. The Rafinha danced around a bit. So we saw the dancing around, and we enjoy. Perhaps I'll be feeling sleepy after the show now. But I saw that game and I felt like this is what we used to see in this what's it called, in the South American League.
Okay,
In the South American,
I thought you were trying to say what we used to see with Brazilian national team.
no,
before.
not Brazilian national team. No, this is not
That
even,
would have been personal, but it's fine.
this is not even
It's fine.
close. This is not even close to what we used to see with Brazilian national team. But this is what we used to see in the South American League, where players enjoy passing the ball around, dancing, playing the chinka, or what's it called? And we saw it last night.
John Rafinha, goal and assist. He has been the
Fantastic
one of the
player.
star
Just
players
give him
for
the
this
Ballon d'Or this
Come on,
year.
Calm
Ballon
down.
d'Or.
Salah, give
Give
Usman
him the
Dembele
Ballon d'Or,
Say,
man.
by
Come
who
on.
by who win trophy, Abi? In 2025, this guy has more goals. Though he didn't score yesterday, but he put up the number. He was in the creator seat and he created enough chances. Give Usman Dembele the Ballon d'Or. Salah will play. Give him the Ballon. If not so, Ballon d'Or don't choke. Salah,
I think
if not by goals,
I think this season Ballon d'Or is going to be interesting. Even
it's going to be awkward.
Lewandowski,
It's going to be
even Harry Kane is still there. Even Yamal is still there.
No, Yamal the
Rafinha,
young player of the year.
yeah,
Leave
Rafinha is
Ballon
still
d'Or.
there.
How many times
Salah
are you
is
going
still-
to win Young Player of the Year
You can
before you
still win
enter
it now.
contention?
Rafinha is still here, Salah is still there, so but it's going to be interesting. But Brazil winning that game, 2-1 is very interesting. If you see that game, they are scoring the only goal for Colombia to make it 1-1, and in the last minute of the game, the last kick of the game, Vinicius scored a lovely goal to make it 2-1 for Brazil. So Brazil winning that game 2-1. Other results: Paraguay winning Chile 1-0 in the other game, and Peru winning Bolivia 3-1. But let's see, other games are happening today in midnight again. That game happens always 1 a.m. 2
I think the
a.m.
game's happening by 10 today.
So let's see who is going to win in that Saturday, who qualify for the World Cup, because they are playing straight up World Cup qualification. But talking about Nigeria, before we end the show, guys, finally, let's get your scoreline for Nigerian game. That game against Rwanda is going to be interesting to see who will score for us. Normally, who do you think will start? Osimhen will start, obviously, because Osimhen is our star man. But let's get your scoreline and let's predict who will score in that game.
I'm going to say 2-1. Osimhen to score.
2-1, Osimhen to score.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So do you think that Rwanda can score against us? No.
4-2.
Where you see high score line for Nigerian for
Leave that thing, you will see it today. 4-2. Ademola Lookman, Boniface. Rwanda will first score the goal. Now they will first score police. We will retaliate.
Prediction, no.
Rwanda to score first.
Prediction, no.
Nigeria to equalize, get the lead. Rwanda comes into the game, we score again and seal the
By
win.
this time tomorrow, we'll know if you are a false prophet or not.
I just tell you in my head, no better in my mind.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game today. Nigeria will play Rwanda by 5 p.m. today. Let's see if Nigeria will qualify for the World Cup. If you look at where we are on the table, we need to just get that 3 points. And Rwanda is topping that table. So winning them is very, very important for us to qualify for the World Cup. And next year is going to be interesting because I think we missed the last edition and I wasn't happy. We need to qualify. We have the biggest export in whole Africa, not the whole world, but the whole Africa. If you look at our squad, we are huge. We have, especially on our striking position, we have Lookman, Boniface,
Teller,
every Osimhen have like 6 squad everywhere. Chukwueze 6 squad. Squad plenty, squad yapa everywhere, but still we are not qualifying for the World Cup. So we need to qualify because if you count the next 4 years in this player's age, they are in their 30s. Imagine they are in their 30s, so they need to qualify for this World Cup. If they miss this next one, it's going to be tough for them to play in a World Cup. And some of them have not even played in a World Cup before in their career, so they have to fight for Nigerian Spike Eagles, fight for that badge for them to qualify for the next World Cup. Okay, tomorrow we'll come back again and talk about that game that happened today, especially that Nigerian game. We'll talk about it and we'll see what our new coach is going to do for us, the formation is going to play, who plays and how we play. We'll talk about all that on the show tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you for those that join us on our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live every day on YouTube, Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. sharp. We are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. My name is Godwin and have a wonderful weekend. Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Bye for now.
TGIF.
Enugu, and welcome to Vote 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage. Take a break and enjoy the show.
Alex Iwobi gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, it's a great goal!
Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State Governor has sentenced the electricity radio.
Gospel.
And let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is within people.
Odinibo.
Awesome programs exclusively on
Vote 104.